Welcome to SAITV. I'm your host, Fanuel Muindi. So this week, I wanted to just update you all on a little change in our programming. You may have noticed now we have several channels on SAITV. And so you're on the main channel right now, channel 1, that we hope will have several programs, including Newsroom, where we'll go over some of the news items of the week or month. Question of the day. So this is my show. I'll be hosting here. Ask the hard questions to our guests, experts, and founders, and so forth. And our very own Victoria Gonzalez is going to be hosting her own show called Changemakers, where she'll be doing a lot of storytelling, trying to combine and tell the stories of all these civic science entrepreneurs and founders around the world and learning more about the programs that they run. And lastly, of course, expeditions. And you may have noticed we've done quite a few of those over the years. And so keep an eye out for new trips that we take in the upcoming months. And so with that, let's get started on questions of the day, QOTD. And I hope this sticks. We are rapidly evolving and changing. So bear with us as we make updates to shows and other items. Okay, so this week I got a chance to chat with none other but Cautney Nelson, the CEO and founder of Drunken Lab. If you have not heard of this, well, you're going to hear about it for sure. And so there's a fun fact about her is that she was a former fellow at SAI, and she was my own mentee, and it's fantastic always to see my mentees out there doing amazing things. And so Drunken Lab is something that it's just amazing to have seen it grow. And so we knew we had to bring her on board and talk to her to learn more about the initiative based in New York. And I don't want to give away too much, but it's in this show, as we are asking fundamental questions of the day, when you think about science and alcohol, those two don't really go together, but there are clever ways one could bring the two together to open up science in new ways, new innovative ways. And I think Cautney and her team are doing just that. Now, Drunken Lab is not the only initiative that's using the alcohol and combining science in this unique way. There are other initiatives, but I think they are really combining fun into the mixture. They're combining excitement, they're combining adventure. And I think there's something unique there. But of course, don't take my word. Go to their website. And most importantly, just listen to her words. Okay. And this is not the only conversation we're going to have. This is the start of the conversations. Okay. So I hope you enjoy it, and tune back in next week or the week after for other exciting conversations that we're going to have with several founders and experts. So thank you so much and enjoy the conversation. Cautney, it is wonderful to have you on SAITV. Welcome.
Oh, well, I am so happy to be here. I love SAI, so getting to be interviewed is definitely dreams come true.
Okay, and so let's get right into it. Tell us about the Drunken Laboratory. How did this idea get started?
So I've always been into sciences, and I went to Stony Brook, studied biochem. And it was wonderful and interesting and all the great about it. But I did not get that personal feel when I was studying biochemistry. And being a cheerleader all my life, I need to be around people. I need to be getting some energy, some vibes. So that's why I left. I started a nonprofit, and I was creating programs for children. And I did it for free for libraries in my community. And the children just really loved those programs that I curated. So I wondered, so other libraries were reaching out to me. I was doing it in a lot of places. So I wondered if adults would love it too, if I created these science programs for them. And I know I like to drink. So I just thought, well, if I add alcohol to it, it might be a little more fun. So that's when the idea came about for the Drunken Laboratory.
That's amazing. So you went from running a nonprofit to essentially starting a for-profit venture, right? To now starting
Right. Yeah.
Drunken Laboratory, and you've combined essentially, drinking and science. What hurdle did you have to cross to bridge those two things?
Great question. I think the biggest thing is convincing people it's worth spending money on. Because when people think of science, they think of learning, they think of drag, they think of work. And the Drunken Laboratory is the total opposite. It's very fun, it's very competitive, and you don't know what to expect next. And I think with science, you kind of put in a box of all the different industries, but at the Drunken Lab, you don't know what we're going to talk about. We might talk about astrology, we might talk about chemistry, we might talk about bio, or we might talk about Drake. So that's what makes it so invigorating for our guests.
So Cautney, tell us about how the Drunken Lab actually works. When someone is interested in an event, what happens? Walk us through that.
Yeah, so anyone can go on our website. It's called thedrunkenlaboratory.com, and then you will select which ticket you like. So we have 3 different tiers. Our sober scientists for those who do not drink, and then we have our tipsy scientists for those who are drinkers, and it comes with 2 drinks, 2 alcoholic beverages, and then our drunken scientist. So that comes with 2 drinks, comes with a bottle of champagne, and it comes with a shot. So you already know you're gonna be stumbling out of there. And then when you come in, we give you the shots on the walk-in. You get your first drink, you settle in, and then you have to create a professor name for yourself. So you're automatically being immersed into that scientist environment. You're putting on your lab coat, you're putting on your lab goggles, and you're creating a professor name for yourself. That whole persona of becoming a scientist happens the moment you sit down. And then from that point, it's just up and up from there. I can't say too much, but there's experiments, there's games, and you're basically competing against other scientists to win more shots, to win hangover kits, certain prizes, and gifts such as that.
So and who's coming to these events? Like, tell us a little bit about the profile of the people signing up.
Yeah, so we get mostly tourists and people from 25 to 35, even into late 60s. We get a lot of people who are teachers, who are scientists, who are in the medical field, health field. And then we had people who just love to drink and just really enjoy the environment that we provide, the music and things of that nature. But usually we get professionals, but everyone is welcome at the Drunken Lab.
Yeah, and so how long is a typical event?
Each event is about an hour and 30 minutes long.
I see. And then you are primarily right now in New York and are planning to expand to Atlanta. Walk us through that logic.
Yeah, so a large percentage of our customer base are African women, and we would like to expand to Atlanta because there's such a large, predominantly African American population in Atlanta. So we think it would be amazing to share this experience with our followers down south.
I see. And when people think about these initiatives, right, as you mentioned earlier, they tend to be nonprofit, right? And it's for learning, for example. So in your case, let's walk us through some of the financials. Is it making sense for you financially? And I understand you're doing this full time. Just tell us a little bit about that. What are the mechanics behind this?
Yeah, so because guests are paying for the experience, we're able to bring in over 3,000 ticket sales a year, and we're expanding to do open more days. So currently we're maxing our capacity of 40 people every session for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so now we're going to try to be open on Wednesdays and Thursdays as well.
That's amazing. And for those who are watching, again, reminder that there is a non-alcoholic ticket option.
Yes.
Right?
And we do a lot of corporate events, which is really fun because we've had a genetic podcast. They talk about hereditary diseases and research that's happening in that industry. And it was just so fun to be able for them to come as a group and nerd out and drink and each other. Team bonding is super fun at the Drunken Laboratory. So we've had HBO, we've had Black Ink Crew come down, we've had Universal. studios come down. So if you like to do some team bonding, it's definitely the best time to do it at the Drunken Laboratory.
Yeah, and it sounds like you found a niche group, a niche window, if I may put it that way, right? Tell us about the New York scene and the space that you are now trying to venture into. There are are there other initiatives in this space? Can you tell us about that, the landscape?
Yeah, so right now, most of the immersive experiences are similar to just like creating a space out of artwork and just magnifying it to you're part of that artwork, you're a part of that work piece. And that's a large part of the immersive experience industry that I'm in. Also, paint and zips are really popular. And another one would be museums, interactive museums. And we fall along that space because, you come in and you are the art really, but you become a part of the experience and the environment takes you into that space and that mindset of being in that scientific, in academia, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And so what do you say to people that may say and combining alcohol and doing science, that is not a good combo? What do you say to that criticism?
I would say that is not a good combo. Okay, but at the Drunken Laboratory, safety is our biggest priority. So the way we do our experience, we don't mix both at the same time, and we practice safe drinking for all our participants. And that's why we start off by, going over the lab safety rules, making sure everyone has on their safety gear, their gloves, their goggles, their lab coats, and we prioritize safety first at all times at the Drunken Lab. So I would say, no, science and drinking is a no-go, but we've set in place a lot of systems so that accidents are far and few between.
Yeah, and how long have you been operating so far, by the way?
How long have we? Since 2019. We've been on and off for 2019 because of COVID, and then we're gonna make a full year in about 2 months.
Yeah, and you mentioned 3,000 people, right, per year, roughly speaking, and you're expanding. What are they telling you, right? What are they telling you? What are you learning from them that is keeping you going?
I get a lot of thanks, a lot of appreciation. Everyone comes in, they're like, I wish that my college class or my science class in high school was this fun. They're saying, oh my gosh, I never got to do dissecting. I'm so glad I got to do it. And then they feel smarter when they're leaving. They're feeling more smart when they leave because we give them this sense of accomplishment. They graduated from lit university where we believe science is lit. So they're excited about taking on science to a new level. And they're a part of that. We're not the ones doing the work for them. They're doing all the work themselves. And they're getting their hands dirty and they're making things blow up. And they're excited about it. They're having the time of their lives.
And it sounds like there's even much more than science. There's team bonding. There's
yes.
The liquid courage that one gets, right? To consider yourself as a scientist in that brief moment of time. So tell me about your team. Like, clearly you're not doing this alone. Who is enabling you to do this?
So we have a team of about 10 people. We have our store owner, Don, and he's really great. He's hands-on and he makes sure the customers are doing well. Our mixologist, she makes sure all the drinks are strong and the shots are stronger. And then we have our supplies team, making sure everything is safe and clean for all the guests to use. And then we have our guest relations who helps out making sure your reservations are set. If you need to reschedule, if you need to get a refund, you choose the wrong date, those sort of things. And then our social media team, and make sure you see everything that's going on.
And I encourage everybody watching this. I think you're very active on Instagram. Tell us about your social media.
Yeah, we are very heavy on social media because we like to capture the moments, and especially with an experience where so much is happening so fast. We want you to be in Jersey looking at what's going on in Brooklyn, New York. So our TikTok is at the Drunken Lab. So is our Instagram and our Facebook. And we share so many fun things, our menu for our drinks every season. We share some of the staff are dancing, some of the guests are dancing. So it's just a whirlwind of fun on our social media. So definitely check us out. If you're thinking about coming, you're sure to be convinced after watching.
And then do you collaborate with scientists to organize these experiments? Because I know we were talking offline about that you are trying to expand that repository, right, of experiments. Tell us about that curation.
Yeah, we're working on an entirely new experience for the fall season. So we're going to be incorporating new experiments as well. So I'm going to be onboarding a lot of different people in different skills in the scientific industry. So if you are a scientist and you're watching, definitely reach out to us, info@thedrunkenlaboratory.com via email, send us a resume, cover letter, interesting things about yourself, your LinkedIn. If you like Jolly Ranchers, just hit us up and definitely make some magic happen.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, just to wrap up here, unfortunately, we're short of time. We need to have you back, clearly. We need to have you back. But just walk us through the future here. You're expanding to Atlanta. What do you see in the next 10, 20 years for the Drunken Lab? Well, what kind of vision do you have?
Yeah, so the Drunken Lab soon is going to be a space where people can come, learn, and have an immense amount of fun. And we're transitioning to Lit University, which is a collegiate level to all things in all spaces. So painting, pottery, creating a rug, whatever it is that you like to do, you'll be able to find it at Lit University. So we'll have the Drunken Lab, we'll have the pottery lab, the painting lab, and all these different types of disciplines so that you'll be able to do something new and do something fun with your loved one and have fun and a couple of drinks while doing it. So that's our transition for the next 5 to 10.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be, hopefully we'll be there with you to see this growth.
Yeah, we're going to see this out, definitely.
Well there, welcome back. Sorry to jump in. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. Had to cut it short, but I hope we'll have Cautney join us again in the subsequent weeks and months to keep us updated with what's going on with the Drunken Lab. And with that, you're caught up. See you soon. This is CivicSciTV.